Hello and welcome, fellow adventurers. This is the channel where we talk about one of the best games ever created. I'm Lewis Nichols, and I've been playing since 1986. Sure, there's been breaks, but I've worked around the edges for most of my life. I've done some writing and a whole lot of gaming. For the most part, I'd say I'm a world-building guy. Really not the greatest of role players, but I'm trying to get better. Not even necessarily a rules guy, but we're working on that too. That's really what this episode is going to be about. We're going to pick out a few pages from the Dungeon Master's Guide and see what they have to offer us. One of the things that makes D&D great is the amount of support it has to offer. The DMG is a core piece of those resources. Another great thing is that we can ignore what we like and use what we like. Every group of players is different. We embrace that. Oh, and if you didn't notice, this isn't a negative channel. If you want to hear somebody complain about everything that's wrong, or if you would like me to predict the imminent demise of the greatest pastime on Earth, I'm not going to do it. We're going to start with page 89 for designing NPCs. If you're new to this sort of game, NPCs are everybody controlled by the DM. In other words, everyone but the player characters. This section opens up by explaining that very fact. You see, NPCs include the local guardsman, the bartender, a bum on the street, and the ogre you may or may not have to fight on your first quest. Included is this great list of qualities you might want to develop for a specific NPC. One thing the DMG does not skimp on is charts. We have this one for appearance, another for talents. It goes on and on. However, I want to cover 3 sections today and keep the script under 1,000 words. I could probably spend a whole video just talking about this section. Before we move on though, A+. I 100% suggest everyone take a look at these pages and see what you can incorporate into your system. We might even use these charts in an exercise video. I do suggest not overdoing it. You don't need to know everything about everyone your party is going to meet before they meet them. You might use these charts on the fly if you need to, but you might also just develop characters as required. Your players will not mind if a flat NPC develops a more refined persona as the game wears on. I also recommend you maintain a record of impressions the party makes after each encounter. Not every NPC is going to like every PC equally, and it might be for things that the players cannot control or even predict. In a world full of elves, dwarves, gnomes, and things far stranger, racism can be a thing. So can a distinct dislike of magic users, or a love for them. Maybe an NPC will have an instant respect for any adventurer until that trust is broken. Maybe they only like characters who spend money with them or on them. Just think about how people in your life interact and adapt the traits that you see there into your NPCs. Looking forward, I see a section on treasure. It has subsections on intelligent magical items and artifacts. How often do you guys use stuff like this? I have a couple of intelligent items placed in my campaign, but so far they are unknown to the party. I have placed a few artifacts that may come into play someday. Have you ever used magic like this in your games? Do you keep it crazy powerful, but highly dangerous to use? I once gave out a magical sword that ate souls and could cast its own spells. If it went too long without eating, it would just open up with a spew of magic missiles on Main Street. It was a ridiculously powerful weapon. But so much trouble, the PC who owned it eventually just threw it into the ocean. Later, he ran into it again in the hands of another fighter. He killed that fighter and threw the sword back into the drink. Aside from the experience, I think I probably made powerful magic too easy to come by back in the day. Now, I let the bad come with the good. It makes for a better story. Hey, it's some synergy. Smart magic items are NPCs, and you can use those charts from earlier to come up with a robust personality for your ranger's new talking longbow. Alright, back to the table of contents. Doors, page 191. Huh, who knew? A whole page for doors. What the is this? Oh, passages, stairs, etc. This is the random dungeon creation charts. More synergy. I'm getting good at this. A place for those quest-giving NPCs to send your characters for an artifact hunt. Okay, so I like charts like this to get out of your own head a little bit. However, I'm not a big fan of mapping dungeons in general. I mean, never say never, but I usually just don't find it necessary. It's a little tedious. You know what I really hate though? I hate it when every room, no matter how mundane, is a process of what's here, check for traps, any treasure, what was the room used for, come on, give me all the details. I was once led through a house, room by room, for an entire hour with no encounters and no useful information. I really felt like I was being trolled by the DM. It was so ludicrous I even wondered if the other players were in on it. My SOP in a situation like this is to tell the party, you stand in the entryway of a large upscale manor house. Then I would get a feeling for their plan, their overall paranoia level, what kind of speed factor they're looking for. You can ask for rolls here and there and play out micro situations without having them to lead room to room. Getting an idea of what they're doing also tells how long the party is going to be here, and you can create a situation where you know what your NPCs are doing as the party's doing their thing, if they're even aware something's happening. Could be, the guys are in a stasis, just waiting for the PCs to open the right door. When they've completed the first floor, you can tell them, you found stairs up, stairs down, a few goodies here and there, here's your short list, and then find out how they want to continue. Going upstairs, do you continue your search pattern? Okay, your point man comes carefully into a bedroom. Roll perception. And away we go with whatever encounter I had planned for the room. No maps required, except maybe for that room and wherever you expect the battle to proceed to. Even that choice is up to you, as there's nothing wrong with theater of the mind. Alright, I said that I was going to keep it short. Remember, you have all the power. Well, you and the algorithm. Like, comment, tell me what you want to see out of this station. I have tentative plans to do a little character building exercise based on the first section of this video. That'll probably be a mid-week thing. For my next major video, we're getting back into world building. I think it's time to visit the Great Plains of Fantasy and talk about world building the vast, featureless landscapes of our worlds. I'm glad you all stopped by today, and I hope each and every one of you have a great rest of the day. You matter. Yes, I mean you. Specifically, you. I'll see you next time. Cheers.